and the civil society space would do more.
Right. So it takes it back to your doorsteps, both of you, and how much enlightenment has been created. Yes, you put in so much effort, but is there a way to measure the result of this effort you've put in? And how enlightened is the voter today? And I'm not talking about the ones in the city. I'm talking about those in the rural settings where, well, they probably do not have guides to show them what to do and how to roll up, flatten, and some in the process of thumb printing and just trying to put it into the box might just get it smudged and then it's voided.
You know, the truth of the matter is, for now, we do have these over 90 political parties that are registered. The process of enlightening the voter must continue, even beyond this election, you know. So we are quite aware of that, and we're working closely with civil society. I just came back from Kaduna, where we hosted civil society organizations in the Northwest Zone to a capacity building session sponsored by Osiwa, you know, to build their capacity to go into communities and do a lot of this sensitization. And we got commitments from them, you know, that they would do so. We know we cannot do it all by ourselves, and sensitization is not a one-off thing if you want to achieve results, sustainable results. It must be continuous.
All right. Well, right at this point, another center beckons, and we'll be going over to our Enugu Network Center, where Ifeanyi Okafor is sitting in. And Ifeanyi, one of the things we would expect you to talk about is how sensitized the voters in Enugu are to tomorrow's polls. Give us a sense of that, and of course, what the expectations are for tomorrow's polls. Ifeanyi.
Thank you, Cyril. Welcome to Enugu Network Center of the Nigeria Decides studio. Well, in the Southeast, there has been much voter education and voter sensitization towards the elections. Of course, in the Southeast zone, the electorate are quite eager and indeed very much prepared to exercise their franchise. Citizens are quite hopeful, especially in this final phase of elections, which are indeed more localized than the previous election, as these are the candidates who would represent them in the state. The electoral umpire have expressed readiness for the exercise, and while we will hear the Commissioner of Police speak live on NTA on their readiness, I'm being joined here in the studio by Honorable Nwabueze Ugu. He's a constitutional lawyer and a human rights activist. He's a former member Enugu State House of Assembly, where he represented Nkanu West constituency. I also have Suleiman Balarabe, the Commissioner of Police, Enugu State Command. Yeah, welcome to the Nigeria Decide studio here in Enugu Network Center.
Thank you, viewers. Thank you.
But before we begin our discussions, let us take these reports. Independent National Electoral Commission in Enugu State says all is set for the conduct of elections in the state and that it is not negotiable. Amechi Pius reports that the resident electoral commissioner of INEC, Emeka Ononamadu, stated this at a media briefing.
Beginning of the week, the office of the Independent National Electoral Commission and the Central Bank of Nigeria have been a beehive. Both offices have been characterized by movement of both sensitive and non-sensitive electoral materials to the various local government areas in the state. According to the resident electoral commissioner, Emeka Ononamadu, the exercise has been concluded with adequate arrangements to ensure the protection of materials and ad hoc staff at the various polling units.
All the sensitive materials and non-sensitive materials have been moved to INEC area offices in the 17 local government areas. They all arrived safely. The distribution of these sensitive materials were observed by security agents, media, civil society, and party agents.
Ononamadu told the media that distribution of materials to the polling centers from the Central Bank of Nigeria was closely monitored by agents of the various political parties. He therefore advised voters in Enugu to come out en masse to elect candidates of their choice without any fear of intimidation.
We have not recorded any substantial obstacle or difficulty that can prevent the election from either not starting on time or not happening at all in the world.
He assured that accreditation and voting will commence as scheduled at the various polling centers.
As Nigerians go to the polls to elect their governors and House of Assembly members, some voters in Enugu State say they expect an improvement from INEC, especially in areas of logistics and delivery of electoral materials to polling units. Jude Abugu reports.
Based on the lapses they observed from the conduct of Saturday, February 23rd presidential and National Assembly elections, these respondents do not seem to be impressed with the outcome of the election. They had expected to witness an election devoid of violence, technical hitches, and logistic challenges.
Leave the masses to vote out their conscience, to vote for any party they like.
Political apathy, sort of, because the conduct of the previous elections doesn't give much room for anything. We don't do election the way I see it.
In the gubernatorial and state assembly elections coming up tomorrow, they are looking forward to an outcome that will be acceptable to all the parties involved. This, they explained, can only materialize when the Independent National Electoral Commission and other key players in the election discharge their duties effectively.
People should be given the votes they voted for. That is, the result of the vote should be released to the people.
They should bring back the card reader. It's already electronic, but let it count.
On the security, I suggest that the security should do their job as the Constitution allows them to do.
On the expected level of voters turnout to the Saturday's gubernatorial and state assembly polls, the respondents reacted with optimism, saying that individuals to be elected are more known and closer to the people, hence the growing interest in the election.
Thank you. Back here in the studio, we still have the Commissioner of Police, Suleiman Balarabe, the Commissioner of Police of Enugu State Command. Now, CP, can you inform us of the preparations for the elections for Saturday?
Thank you very much. The State Police Command is fully prepared. We have made adequate deployment to all the polling units and voting centers. The electoral materials were escorted by our men to the racks from CBN and from INEC offices, and they are fully protected in those places. All the personnel of the command have been briefed of what to do and what not to do. And we have motorized patrol that will be going around from one place to another to ensure that there is peace and voters are being given adequate and free chance to go and vote when they are well secured to go and vote and cast their votes.
Thank you so much. Now, constitutional lawyer and human rights activist, Honorable Nwabweze Ugu, the primary function of the State Assembly is to promote efficiency and indeed transparency in the governance of the state. Now, based on this, how crucial is Saturday's State Assembly elections, of course, the governorship election?
The State Assembly election that is going to take place tomorrow is a very crucial one because, like you know, aside from the election of the governor tomorrow, there is also going to hold the election of members of the State Assembly into the Enugu State House of Assembly. Of course, you know that when you talk about democracy, the only thing that differentiates democracy from a dictatorship is that in a democracy, there is a legislature. But under a dictatorship, the military combines both roles of executive as well as that of the legislature. Yeah. It's only the judiciary that they do not abrogate. So that in a democracy now, it is only the legislature that was not in existence under dictatorship that is now born in a democracy. So that's why the legislature is referred to as the engine room of democracy, as the people's parliament, as the hub of the democratic system. So we expect...
In fact, it's quite localized at this time around.
That's right. So we expect that aside from the election into the governorship, that the state assemblies will also have people elected into them. In Enugu, we have 24 state constituencies, and we have not heard INEC say that election is not going to hold in any of the constituencies. So tomorrow, 24 of them will be elected, and the governor will also be elected.
Okay, now, CP, the Southeast has remained largely peaceful. Now, security agencies are expected to sustain the professionalism and, of course, the non-partisanship. What do you expect from the security agencies that are on ground for the elections? What have you told them to do tomorrow?
And you see, before now, we have been having meetings with